Relegation and promotion in all of Europe's top football leagues is something that's a part and parcel of the yearly, let's say, struggle, grind, whatever you want to call it. But this year in the Premier League, there has unfortunately been one relegation that hit home a little harder than what other relegations would, and that was the relegation of Leicester City. They became everyone's favorite underdog story, but to go from that to end up becoming one of the sides who were then relegated in the span of 7 years, well, that seems like quite the mighty fall, especially when you consider the fact that up until the season before, they were regularly competing not just for honours, but also to make it into the European spots. So what exactly went wrong at Leicester, and can they serve as a cautionary tale for other clubs who unexpectedly rise to the top in the manner that they did? That's what we're going to be talking about in this special story. 5,000 is to 1. Those were the betting odds offered by bookmakers for Leicester City to win the Premier League title in the 2015-16 season. And it was easy to understand why. Leicester had just been promoted back to the top flight in the 2014-15 season and very narrowly escaped relegation in their first season back. Yet, the following season saw them script a heartwarming fairy tale for the ages. Buoyed by players like Jamie Vardy, Riyad Mahrez and N'Golo Kanté, the club became champions of England for the first time in their history. It was aided significantly by top sides like Manchester City, Chelsea and even Manchester United having poor seasons, but a title win is a title win. So how did things turn so bad? For one, the club ended up departing from a successful business model. The Leicester model, as it was informally known, saw them sell one player per season for a significant sum of money. N'Golo Kanté left for Chelsea in 2016, with Danny Drinkwater following suit in 2017. Riyad Mahrez would leave the club in 2018, followed by Harry Maguire in 2019, Ben Chilwell in 2020, and even Wesley Fofana in 2022. It was a model that ensured their finances stayed healthy and they reinvested the money in young prospects bought for cheap who they could then cash in a few years down the line. But things changed for both the better and the worse when Brendan Rodgers was brought in as manager. He helped the club win the FA Cup in the 2020-21 season. However, some of the players he signed departed from Leicester's usual model. He wanted players with experience who would add steel to the side but provide little in the way of resale value. To make matters worse, Leicester failed to cash in on a few of their valuable assets. The likes of Youri Tielemans, James Maddison and even Harvey Barnes remain on the books. Tielemans will leave as a free agent, but Maddison and Barnes will most likely leave on cut-price deals. In the end, the reason behind Leicester's swift downfall was abandoning a model that worked well for them, and now they will have to rebuild, this time from the second division. So that is unfortunately the story of everyone's favorite underdog, Leicester City. It is in many ways heartbreaking, but it is also a cautionary tale for many clubs that if you're sticking to a model that works, then it's better for you than trying to ape a model that works for a super club. Leicester City, despite whatever it is they achieved, were not a super club and they knew it. Yet, when they chose to stray away from that path, it ended up setting them into a point of no return where they now face the prospect of having to start from scratch, and this time, unfortunately, from a championship that continues to remain as competitive as ever. Of course, Leicester will be favourites to come back up in at least 1 or 2 seasons if things go well for them. The question is if they'll be allowed to do so, because again, the second division of England's top flight is very competitive, and it isn't as easy as it always may seem for relegated sides to bounce back up. That's not to say it hasn't happened. In fact, it is one of the things that has happened quite commonly in the past, but it won't necessarily be that easy, especially if Leicester continue to fritter away money the way they have in recent seasons. One would hope, for the sake of a lot of football fans who enjoy, let's say, heartwarming stories, that Leicester can find themselves back in the Premier League sooner rather than later and not become a footnote like, say, a Blackburn Rovers, who are incidentally the only other side in the history of the Premier League, or rather in the Premier League era, to have both won the title as well as be relegated. And unfortunately for Blackburn, they've never come back since they got relegated. Hopefully that's a fate Leicester can avoid. I think they'll be back very soon, but how do you guys feel? Well, you can let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, leave us a comment, follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, and don't forget to download the AajTak app as well. Plus, if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos that we've done. For now, from my side, goodbye.